Hi, it's the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your November 2016 mid-month readings. I am still using the Gilded Tarot deck by artist Ciro Marchetti, and even though we're focusing more on the last couple of weeks of November than the month in its entirety, I'm still going to be pulling the same number of cards, 8 cards with an additional ninth card from the bottom of the deck as your crowning card representing overall energy and advice over the reading. These are general readings, and there's a lot of you watching, and everyone has different things going on in their lives. So, if this is your primary sun sign, it may or may not be relative to you, or you may not find it so relative. Make sure to watch your rising and your moon sign as well. Watch all three when you can, anyway, if you know them, because you may find that each of them gives you pertinent pieces of your life. So that watching all three of them together gives you a whole and clearer, or at least more cohesive picture of the time frame ahead that the reading covers. I watch all three of mine as I find it gives the most clear picture and the most guidance and advice of the time frame ahead. Special thank you always before we begin to those of you who continue to watch and listen and follow so faithfully. I really do appreciate your support and your feedback. I love reading the comments. Please keep them coming. Welcome to any newcomers who may be watching. Thank you for watching and for subscribing should you choose to do so. Thank you to those of you who continue to reach out for personal one-on-one readings, which I love to do. It's an honor and a pleasure always to read for you. And I always keep in mind the gratitude that I feel for the trust you place in me to interpret and intuit the cards for you. And thank you also to my regular clients for allowing me to be an ongoing, continuous part of your life as it unfolds, and for the regular updates that you send in how those readings continue to play out for you. And if any of you are interested in a personal reading for you or anyone else, I'm already getting holiday requests for gift readings for loved ones, friends, and family. Purchasing a personal reading as a gift is a uniquely personal present for people. And of course, you can do it at any time of the year, but we are approaching the holidays, and I do seem to get more requests for gift readings than at any other time. So if you're interested in doing that for someone else or for yourself, you can click on the little About button on my YouTube channel's homepage, which will give you a little more information in detail, and also my email address. You can contact me directly at Maggie, McGuire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to work with you. I do readings full time, 6 days a week, so I'm able to get back with you pretty quickly and schedule a reading within a fairly timely fashion. Current turnaround time is anywhere from a few days, upwards of 2 weeks, but almost always within 2 weeks we can set something up. So if you're interested, send me an email and we'll go from there. So moving right along, this reading is for Sagittarius for November 2016, mid-month. What does the remainder of November 2016 have in store for the fire sign of Sagittarian? My lovely, cheerful, fun-loving Sagittarians. What do they need to know to successfully navigate the remainder of November 2016? Fire sign of Sagittarius, November 2016, mid-month. What do the next couple of weeks show for our Sagittarians? What do they need to know? Messages from Spirit for the fire sign of Sagittarius for November 2016, mid-month. Okay, we begin with my favorite card in the whole deck, the Fool, followed by the Moon. Two major arcana cards to start. We have the Seven of Wands, followed by the Ten of Cups. Sorry about that, Sagittarius, had to process something there. The Nine of Wands, followed by the Ace of Pentacles, okay? And the Six of Wands, followed by the Nine of Swords in reverse. And from the bottom of the deck, your crowning card representing overall energy and advice is the Star. You have my two favorite cards in the entire tarot in this deck, Sagittarius, the Fool, and the Star. I love those cards. You have some really beautiful cards. There seems to be a pretty strong theme with home, home, family, house, property, and an actual house for some of you. Let me just take a quick feel here. Okay, Sagittarius, let's begin. We find ourselves around the middle of November 2016, Sagittarius, with the Fool, major arcana card, along with the Moon, another major arcana card. So those divine energies coming in for the next couple of weeks. The Fool card is a card of beginnings, brand new beginnings. It's actually about that place, that in between place where something has ended and something new is about to begin. It's about that little in between place, the first breath, the breath before the first step, that place where possibilities are kind of infinite. Anything's possible, everything's possible. You're kind of considering everything. The Fool is here also to remind us that it's really more about the journey than it is about reaching the destination. Of course, it's good and wise and practical to have destinations, to set goals, and to do the work that we need to do to achieve those goals. But the Fool is here to help us remember that the true value and joy and beauty and lessons that we need to learn are on the steps of the journey themselves and not in being so goal focused or destination oriented. The Fool is also here to remind us that it is perfectly all right and sometimes necessary to step outside of our comfort zone and take a risk. This card can represent doing just that, doing something completely different than you've ever done before, or doing something a different way than you've ever considered doing it before. There is sometimes a cautionary piece of advice with the Fool. It is sometimes a rather controversial card. You can go too far off the deep end. We want to make sure there's water in the pool before we jump into it. The Fool is never concerned with whether he's packed enough socks or underwear for the journey. He's just excited about the journey itself. But in the upright position, it represents appreciating the lessons that we learn each stage of life, kind of the carpe diem, stop and smell the roses. Taking a step outside whatever your current comfort zone is, taking a risk. For some of you, this is going to be uh, so there's a lot of you watching. The story is going to split off. The fundamental energies of the reading, even though it's general, remain the same for everybody who's watching, for those of you for whom it resonates. But the specifics of the story are going to vary, of course. But for some of you, it's going to be about whatever the reading is focused on for you. It's going to be about taking a risk. I think if for those of you who are considering doing something, but you're like, I don't know, it feels a little risky, or I've never done this before, or I've never done it this way, or I'm not sure if I should trust this path or this avenue. Um, the universe is it's indicating that the risk will be worth it in the end, even if there's some delays or some challenges, because it feels like you're not exactly clear about the path. Either you feel you don't have enough information to make a decision or to proceed, or you're afraid to proceed because you can't see enough of the road ahead of you. And I say that because the Fool is accompanied by the Moon card. The Moon card is a card of there's a lot of spirituality with the Moon card, as in any card that has any images of the moon in it as well, which connects to our subconscious. It connects to divine intuition, that deeper sense of knowing, even when outside evidence or outside opinions may appear to be contrary. Intuition is about following what our gut instinct is, and it's really just that connection to the divine messages that we're getting. It can represent that following your intuition, even if it feels like you don't know why, or well, all the evidence or the people are saying I should do this, but there's something inside that says I should do something else. It's about kind of following in that and trusting in that, trusting in your connection to source, in divine, to lead you down the right path. Not in a completely foolish way. And interesting because it's paired with the Fool, but it is in following your intuition, even if it feels a little risky. The Moon can also represent feeling like the path in front of you is somewhat hidden, or you can't see far enough ahead to make you feel, reassured in some way. Your GPS kind of being off the grid. The Moon card can represent feeling like you don't have enough information, feeling kind of like you don't know what direction to go in. But I think for a lot of you, it feels like you're in a place where what you're doing feels risky, and some of you may be unsure about whether to proceed in something or the decision to make because there's not enough information and not enough of the path revealed to make you feel secure. Sometimes the moon can represent things being hidden from you, things being veiled, maybe a sense of secrecy. For a smaller portion of you, there may be some cautionary advice here in waiting just a little bit until you feel like you have more information, or if there's an opportunity in front of you, particularly if it has to do with property issues for some of you, like buying a home or investing in something. You may want to be cautious and do more research, more homework, just to investigate a little bit more before you make a final decision to go down a path you may end up kind of regretting later. I mean, it can split off a few different ways. Do as, of course, if it's anything to do with money that you're investing in, or even in relationships, if you're considering taking things to a deeper level of commitment, where you're involving yourself a lot more, you want to do as much information gathering, as much contemplate as much as possible, get feedback, get advice, read all the small print, get as much information as you can. But there comes a point where even if you feel you don't have the rest of it, it may be time to kind of take a little bit of a risk because it looks like it looks like it's going to pay off for you in the end. For some of you, this is going to mean defending something that you have a lot invested in, even if you don't exactly know how you're going to do that. It feels overall as if there's something that in front of you that you either have that you have a great deal invested in, or an opportunity in front of you which would require an investment from you, whether it's time, money, resources, your heart, etc. And there's a sense of, I'm getting kind of a thread of concern or worry or anxiety about how things are going to play out, not feeling insecure in not being able to see not being able to see far enough down the road, and it's making you feel a little insecure. Now, next to that, we have the combination of the Seven of Wands paired with the Ten of Cups. So the Seven of Wands. Wands is governed by fire. It's a suit that's it's a very active, dynamic suit. It's all about action, change, movement, power. The energy of the suit of Wands is about building, manifesting, and creating. The Seven of Wands is a card of building and manifesting and creating. It's a suit that often speaks of career issues, projects, artistic ventures of any kind. Sevens also represent contemplation, reflection, assessment, evaluation of something. But the Seven of Wands is a card with a lot of defensive energy to it. It can be about protecting, guarding, and defending something that you've invested a great deal in because you may feel it's being challenged or threatened some way, as this man does on the front of this card. He's standing in the front of the door to his home, his castle, his keep, his relationship, his whatever it is of importance that this means for you, Aquarius. Or I mean, sorry, Sagittarius. This is for Sagittarius, not Aquarius. Sagittarius, whatever it is that you feel you've invested a great deal in, there's a sense of concern about or fear or insecurity that it may be challenged or threatened somehow, and you're not sure. There may be a sense of not being sure how to go about defending it. For some of you, it's going to be about maybe letting go of something, and again feeling some doubt and fear and insecurity about that because what are you going to do if you let go of this thing? And for some of you, it's an actual tangible thing, a home, property, I see the Ace of Pentacles here too. Some of you are going to be moving or relocating over the next few weeks, or there's a lot of activity in putting things together for a move or a relocation to a new home, a new apartment. It may be across town, it may be in another state, it may be out of the country. The Ace of Pentacles can also represent beginning a new job too, but there's a sense of leaving the unfamiliar. There's a sense of leaving the familiar and moving into the unfamiliar. And of course, that's can always be a very challenging place to be. A lot of doubts and fears and insecurities because we can't see far enough down the road. So that Seven of Wands is paired with the Ten of Cups. Cups is governed by the element of water. Oh, I wanted to add too that Seven of Wands can represent the energy is fairly neutral. It really just depends on the cards surrounding it. It can represent needing to stand by, protect, defend something you've invested a lot in because it's being challenged or threatened somehow, trying to figure out how to hold on to what you've invested in. Sometimes that defensive energy can be in a negative or challenging way, meaning that you're holding on to or defending or protecting, holding on to something that actually needs to be let go of. It really just kind of depends on the surrounding card and what the reader intuits. I think for some of you, it's going to be one direction. For another, others of you, it's going to be the other. I'm actually feeling kind of a strong sense here about letting go of the familiar. So we have the Ten of Cups that accompanies that Seven of Wands. Cups is a suit governed by water, the element of water. It's all about feelings, emotions, that watery fluid world. Feelings, emotions, relationships, love, all different kinds of relationships and all different kinds of loves. It's about our emotional connection to people and things and how we express that. Tens represent the end of a cycle, the achievement of something, the coming full circle, a cycle ending. The Ten of Cups is emotional fulfillment. It's reaching that place where everything feels right. It feels like life is not perfect because no such thing exists, but you're just at the right place in life. Everything feels like it's going the way that it should be. Everything, the puzzle pieces are fitting together. There's a sense of happiness and contentment and fulfillment. And there's a strong connection to home and house and family, to family harmony, a sense of reassurance, stability, continuity, of feeling safe and secure, and emotionally quite content and fulfilled. So, paired with the Seven of Wands, what does this mean for you? There's a sense of, again, of fear, of doubt, of insecurity, a sense that you're leaving the familiar, something that you've known for a while, and you're moving into something else, something unfamiliar, a new beginning. And it looks like it's going to be a wonderful new beginning for a lot of you, but there's a sense of insecurity, and you're leaving the known for the unknown. And I think for some of you feeling quite stressed out and fearful about that, and maybe excited and nervous too, all of those things together. Some of you, again, that Ten of Cups is sitting next to the Ace of Pentacles. You're actually physically leaving a home. Some of you may be, leaving home for the first time. Some of you may be moving to a new apartment, moving to a new house. You may be relocating a long distance away. Some of you may be leaving a job or career path that you've been in for quite a while, and you're moving into something completely new, something you have never done before. And maybe there's excitement and anticipation, but nervousness and insecurity as well. Some of you may be retiring, and again, it's a whole new avenue opening up in front of you, and it looks a bit like there's victory and success and hope and faith at the end of it too, but there's a sense of not knowing what's ahead. Now, next to that, we have the Nine of Wands, followed by the Ace of Pentacles. So the Nine of Wands, again, we have that fire element energy here. The Nine of Wands can represent an unexpected delay or an unexpected obstacle or challenge right in kind of the 11th hour, because we're at the nine here. The tens would represent the end of a cycle. So the Nine of Wands represents being almost at the end of something. And so there's one last obstacle or one last hurdle, one last challenge, one last thing to kind of overcome before something completes. You can see there's this cluster of 8 wands in the ground behind this man, and he's holding on to this ninth one. And these 8 wands represent something that he's run into, and it's unexpected. He wasn't expecting it. He was on his journey. He was almost done, and he's been on a journey already, quite a long journey. This man is a soldier. Um, You can see he's girded for battle. In other tarot decks, he's seen as standing up, holding on to the staff, and with a bandage wrapped around his head. He's been through a number of battles. He's come through successfully, though. He's still fighting, and he knows he's almost at the end. He's at the 9 here. So you've come through this long path already, Sagittarius, and all of a sudden there's this unexpected thing, a delay, a challenge, an obstacle of some kind. And he's withdrawn a little bit. You've kind of withdrawn a little bit. We're not talking a full-blown retreat, just stepping back a few paces, kind of looking at it, reflecting on it, looking at it, maybe getting a different perspective on it, re-strategizing, trying to figure out a solution. Why did this happen? How can I fix it? Or how can I go through it or under it or around it somehow? Because the whole underlying energy of this card is to keep on going because you're almost done. So it's all about figuring out whatever this is, figuring out the solution, problem, or just waiting it out if it's a delay so that you can continue on and complete whatever this is. Now, it's attached to the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles accompanies this. So Pentacles is earth energy. Pentacles is, when you think about earth energy, it's solid, stable, reliable, sense of continuity. It's the suit of Pentacles often governs things in our earthly external environment, physical, tangible things. It is frequently about things like money, finances, resources, property, assets, job and career, those tangible see, touch, feel things. Aces are the ones, they represent potential, promise, something that initially comes in the very beginning of it, and it holds a lot of potential. It could really grow and manifest into something quite beautiful, like a seed. But of course, seeds need to be planted and nurtured and taken care of and carefully grown and pruned so that they can end up fruiting and giving back to you in the end. Otherwise, they just fizzle out as nothing. Seeds don't ever manifest into anything unless you take care of them and help them grow. So this represents a new beginning, a pathway which is at the very start, and it's holding a lot of potential, and a lot of potential in our physical world. It could represent the start of a new job, which looks like it might actually really pay off well for you in dollars and cents and in the progression of your career. Because this is a tangible new beginning that's pretty concrete, this card often comes up for moving. And I get for a lot of you, it's that too, especially next to the 10 of Cups. It's about actual property, apartment, house, relocating, moving. Perhaps some of you are moving for a new job. Perhaps the new job, a new house, starting off is that for you. So again, leaving the familiar, leaving what you've known into the unknown, a new beginning, a new start. And there's excitement and anticipation, but fear and doubt and insecurity too. It looks like just when you were kind of thinking you were almost at the end, there's been a delay of some kind. Perhaps for some of you, if it's like moving to a new house or purchasing a house, maybe something's come in at the last minute, extra paperwork that needs to be done, or the bank loan is kind of delayed, or they're asking for more paperwork or proof of something. If it's a new job, perhaps you had a certain start date and that's been delayed a little bit. There may be a sense of fear that this delay or obstacle or challenge, might actually take away whatever this opportunity is. Does this mean this isn't going to work out? Am I not going to get the house? Am I not going to start the new job? Am I not going to, whatever it is this represents for you, Sagittarius? There's a sense of, oh my gosh, does this mean it's not going to happen? And then what do I do? And kind of for a minute letting your thoughts and fears get the better of you. So be vigilant about that energy if it comes in, and kind of have a game plan ahead of time so that you know if that starts to happen for you, what to do. Forewarned is forearmed. That's why we do these readings. That's why we watch these readings, so we can get kind of a little overview for what's coming. And the whole point of watching these is if you have an idea of what's coming and it's resonating for you, you're like, okay, I may get kind of twisted up in my head and kind of build it up to be a little bigger in my head than what it actually is, because that's what this reading is showing. So before that happens, I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do, kind of get a game plan in motion, Sagittarius, because you're a fire sign. And sometimes, we fire signs can, when we start worrying on something in our heads, we can build on it and build on it and build on it. And all that passionate fire energy just kind of blows it out of proportion. So moving on, so there's this delay or obstacle or challenge with whatever this new beginning is, but it's going to be okay. I feel like if it's a delay, it's not going to be very long. Whatever the challenge is or whatever last final thing you need to do or get together, it's going to work out okay. Do what's in front of you to do. Now, at or towards the end of November 2016, we have the energy of the Six of Wands, victory, success, triumph, accompanied by the Nine of Swords in reverse. So the Nine of Swords. Swords is air energy. It's all about what goes on up here. It's cerebral, mental, intellectual energy. It's about words, ideas, communication, conversation. It's about how we think, belief systems, our outlooks, perspectives. The Nine of Swords is a card of a lot of mental stress, anxiety, fear, doubt, insecurity, really getting the best of you. But the Nine of Swords is somewhat illusionary, meaning that whatever it is that you're worried about, whatever this 11th hour delay or obstacle or challenge that's come up out of the blue all of a sudden, you're worrying about it far more than you need to. It may be a valid cause of concern or insecurity, but the Nine of Swords represents putting way too much mental and emotional energy than it actually calls for. This card often comes up when somebody chews on something to their head and makes kind of a snowball into this great big huge like avalanche when it doesn't need to be that way. As you can see, that's what this woman is doing. She's sitting up in bed with her arms crossed over her and this kind of fearful, defensive, protective gesture. It's very late. You can see the moon has risen up high in the sky. Everybody else has probably gone to sleep, but not her. Why? Because she's completely focused on whatever the source of the stress is, this last minute obstacle. You can see this little owl sitting on the windowsill here, very close to her. So close she could probably almost reach out and touch it. Now, anything and everything on a tarot card is symbolic. There's a meaning behind everything. You could spend 50 hours just describing one tarot card. So this little owl which is sitting on this windowsill here, owls are one of those universal symbols for wisdom, enlightenment, information, knowledge, and answer, a solution. It's very close to her, representing that the answer to her problem or the solution or the end result, what she's waiting for, is very close. It's right there, but she's not seeing it. She's not looking at it because she's just completely consumed with whatever her fear, doubt, anxiety, source of concern is. So you need to rein this back in, Sagittarius. Be very vigilant about this energy. I know that there's a lot of maybe insecurity about this new beginning, and maybe there's you feel like it's threatened somehow by some last minute thing, but the challenge is you may be tempted to just get really torqued up about it when the actual reality of it is not it's not that bad and things are going to work out just fine for you in the end. It coming up in the reverse position represents overcoming that energy, seeing the situation for what it really is, pulling back and using some practical air energy and going, okay, I know I'm worried about this, but it's not as bad as all that. Again, if it's a delay, I don't feel like it's going to last very long. And if it's some last minute thing, like you need to provide more paperwork or something like that, do what's in front of you to do because it's going to come together in the end. That Nine of Swords is crowned by the Six of Wands. This is victory, triumph, success, that fire energy, that forward moving, creating, manifesting energy. The Six of Wands is a card of victory, triumph, success. This man went off to do something, to achieve something, slay a dragon, rescue a princess, buy his first home, whatever this is for you, Sagittarius. He went off to do it. He was successful and he's riding back into town and it's triumph, it's success, it's victory, and it's also a card of recognition. Some of you may be recognized for your efforts and achievement because this man is being publicly recognized and acknowledged. This crowd is cheering and waving and applauding him and giving him praise and accolades. It's a card of being recognized for your efforts, for the battle, for the challenge, and having come through it successfully. So, with it kind of crowning that Nine of Swords, which is being all stressed out and freaked out, and oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting this. I was almost there, and then this thing comes in, and everything's ruined, and it's not going to happen. Don't do that. Don't do that. Number one, because it's an unnecessary waste of energy. Everything's going to work out fine. Do what's in front of you to do in terms of any work that you need to do to pull any last minute things together. If there's an unexpected delay, wait it out. I don't think it's going to be very long. This new beginning is going to come together for you. I won't say don't be afraid of the unfamiliar because, it can be kind of exciting and nerve wracking at the same time, but it's going to be okay. Your crowning card kind of underscores that. Your crowning card, your overall energy and advice message from spirit, because its major arcana card is the star. I love this card. It's beautiful. This is about hope and faith, even if the path in front of you is like the moon. I can't see far enough ahead what's going to happen. The star card is about trusting that your your connection to source, God, spirit, your angels, guides, whatever you call it or call them, they, of course, love you and have the best in mind for you. It's all about wanting you to have joy and fulfillment in your life. And this card, the star card, reminds us to have faith in that. Have faith that everything's going to work out okay. And as long as you do what's in front of you to do, this is a wish fulfillment card too. It's having hope and faith in the promise of a bright new future in front of you, even if you can't see all that far down the road. That's what this woman is doing. You can see that she's kneeling down in this body of water and she's naked from the waist up, which implies a sense of freedom and unashamedness and total acceptance of where she is and what the situation is, and being rather unconcerned about it because she has this she has trust in she trusts in her connection to the divine and trusts that everything's going to work out because that's what's on the path for her, because of their love and guidance for her. She's emptying her pitchers of water out into the water. She's completely emptying herself out, and she's doing it in perfect faith and perfect confidence that her pitchers will be restored. When she needs water, she'll have it because the source itself is limitless. So, hope and faith, bright new future, knowing that everything's going to come together for you in the end because you trust in that. You trust in the path. You trust in your sense, your connection to divine source, whatever you call that divine source. It's all the same, regardless of the title. So again, it's beautiful, beautiful energy. So it looks like really the only challenge for you, Sagittarius, is your own thoughts and fears and insecurities. Don't feed them because what we feed is what grows. Knowing this ahead of time, come up with a plan, whatever works for you when you start getting really stressed out and your thoughts start chasing themselves in your head over and over and over again. Whatever works for you to kind of ease that, if not remove it completely, that helps make it better. Spend time with friends, call somebody, take a walk, have a bubble bath, go get a massage, listen to music, all of the above, open a bottle of wine, whatever it is for you. Have that game plan ahead of time. So if and when this because this isn't going to happen to everybody, and of course, and it may happen to in very various degrees. So, but just have a game plan ahead of time. So when your thoughts start chasing themselves, you can go, no, I'm not going to feed that. I'm not going to give that energy. I'm going to do A, B, C because that's what makes me feel better and helps me not be so stressed out. Forewarned is forearmed. It looks like you're going to have a great rest of the month, and it's going to come together for you at the end. Have faith and have hope in that, Sagittarius. So that pretty much sums up the remainder of November 2016 for you, Sagittarius. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you find it useful, that it brings you a little bit of wisdom and insight and clarity, which is why we do these. And I thank you very much for watching it. And again, if any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading for yourself or anyone else, feel free to send me an email directly at Maggie, the number one, McGuire at gmail.com. I would be delighted to work with you. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the December 2016 general readings. And until then, Sagittarius, as always, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.